When the New York Knicks signed Jalen Brunson to a $104 million deal in 2022, critics called it an overpay. But now, it looks like a masterstroke. Brunson has delivered clutch playoff performances, stepped up as a leader, and even turned down over $100 million to help keep his team competitive. His unselfishness and grit have made him more than just a point guard. He's become the heart of the Knicks. So how did this so-called overpaid signing turn into one of the league's biggest bargains and New York's franchise cornerstone? Let's break down the incredible rise of Jalen Brunson, the $100 million bet. In the summer of 2022, the New York Knicks made a move that stirred debate across the NBA by signing Jalen Brunson to a 4-year, $104 million contract. While Brunson was viewed as a solid contributor, many questioned if he was truly worth such a hefty investment. After all, he had never been the primary option on a team and had averaged 16.3 points and 4.8 assists with the Dallas Mavericks the previous season. His breakout came during the 2022 playoffs, highlighted by a stunning 41-point performance against the Utah Jazz. Still, critics wondered if one playoff run was enough to justify such a deal. The Knicks, however, were confident. They believed they weren't just signing a role player, they were betting on a future star. But at the time, many fans and analysts weren't convinced it would pay off.
That while he's a nice player, this is a very unproven player, does not have a track record of great success, and it's hard to see any organization, particularly the Knicks of their history, believing Jalen Brunson suddenly turns him into any kind of major success story.
Headlines questioned if Jalen Brunson was truly worth star money. Many critics called the Knicks desperate, accusing them of overpaying in a last-ditch attempt to stay relevant in the Eastern Conference. On social media, doubts exploded. Fans wondered if New York was making the same old mistake, going for a flashy fix instead of patiently building a winning core. After all, Brunson had never been an all-star, never led a team in scoring, and had played much of his career alongside Luka Dončić, one of the NBA's most dominant players. Could Brunson really handle being the guy? But inside Madison Square Garden, the Knicks front office saw something deeper. Brunson was a leader, a two-time NCAA champion at Villanova who had proven himself under pressure. He came with playoff experience and a reputation for grit, discipline, and work ethic. His father, Rick Brunson, had ties to the organization and helped make the transition smooth. Most importantly, head coach Tom Thibodeau believed Brunson could finally give the team a real floor general, someone to control the offense, deliver in crunch time, and elevate everyone around him. The Knicks also had scars from past mistakes. Big contracts handed to players like Amari Stoudemire, Joakim Noah, and Eddie Curry had flopped due to injuries or inconsistency. But Brunson felt different. He was just 25 and had improved every single year. He wasn't a flashy signing, he was a bet on steady, smart basketball and long-term value. By the time training camp rolled around, the Knicks had made it clear Brunson was more than just another acquisition. He was the centerpiece of a culture shift, a move aimed at ending years of playoff disappointment and bringing credibility back to the franchise. And when the season tipped off, it became obvious this wasn't just a good signing. It was the beginning of Jalen Brunson's rise from underappreciated guard to the star the Knicks had been waiting for. From Maverick sidekick to Gotham star. In the 2022-23 season, Brunson wasted no time taking control of the Knicks offense. He averaged 24 points and 6.2 assists per game, quickly establishing himself as the team's most reliable scoring and playmaking option. Fans watched as he consistently broke down defenders with smooth footwork and sharp decision-making. By December, video highlights were circulating of Brunson torching elite defenders like Drew Holiday and Marcus Smart, players known for shutting down top guards. The critics, who once doubted the Knicks' investment, started to take notice. Brunson's ability to stay composed in late-game situations became a major storyline. He wasn't just putting up numbers, he was deciding games. Throughout the season, he delivered clutch performances against playoff-caliber teams, A memorable moment came against the Miami Heat in March 2023 when Brunson scored 25 second-half points to rally the Knicks from a double-digit deficit. His leadership wasn't flashy, but it was undeniable. Teammates fed off his calm energy, and Madison Square Garden responded with sold-out crowds and MVP chants by April. The 2023-24 season took things to another level. Brunson elevated his scoring to 28.7 points per game and increased his assists to 6.7. His shooting efficiency also improved, hitting 47.9% from the field and 40.1% from three-point range. His advanced metrics told an even deeper story, a .198 win shares per 48 minutes rate, ranking him among the most impactful players in the league. As the Knicks surged in the standings, Brunson earned his first All-Star selection and became a national talking point. ESPN, TNT, and The Athletic ran features on his transformation from a second-round pick to an NBA star. By season's end, the numbers made it clear. Brunson was outperforming several guards on contracts north of $200 million. Players like Trae Young and Bradley Beal had higher salaries, but couldn't match his blend of scoring, playmaking, and consistency. Even more impressive, Brunson had played in nearly every game, avoiding the injury issues that often plagued star guards. As the spotlight grew, Brunson embraced the pressure, but his biggest tests and his chance to truly silence any remaining doubters were waiting in the postseason. The moment that justified the gamble, the 2023 playoffs marked a turning point in how the entire NBA viewed Jalen Brunson. After a strong regular season, one question still lingered. Could he deliver when it mattered most? The Knicks faced the Cleveland Cavaliers in the first round, a team with the league's best defensive rating, anchored by Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley. Many expected Cleveland to shut down New York's offense. Instead, Brunson rose to the challenge. He averaged 27.8 points per game, outplayed All-Star Darius Garland, and made life difficult for Donovan Mitchell. His relentless attacks, crafty footwork, and unshakable poise gave New York a crucial edge. Clips of Brunson slicing through double teams and finishing with tough floaters were suddenly everywhere. ESPN, NBA TV, social media. In the second round against the Miami Heat, he kept up his elite level of play despite intense pressure from Jimmy Butler and Kyle Lowry. In a must-win Game 5, Brunson dropped 38 points, including clutch baskets in the fourth quarter. Though the Knicks eventually fell in the series, Brunson had silenced any lingering doubts about his postseason capabilities. Then came the 2024 playoffs, where he went from star to superstar. Brunson averaged 32.4 points per game, second only to Luka Dončić across the postseason. He had 5 games with over 40 points. Against the 76ers, he exploded for 47 points in Game 4, flipping the series' momentum. Then, in the next round against the top-seeded Milwaukee Bucks, he delivered again. 43 points in a decisive Game 6 to knock them out. His late-game heroics became expected. Off-balance jumpers, cold-blooded threes, fearless drives in traffic. By the end of the 2024 postseason, the narrative had completely changed. Brunson wasn't just leading the Knicks, he was carrying them. He had become one of the league's most dependable playoff performers and earned a permanent place in Knicks postseason history. And when someone asked Stephen A. Smith which point guards he'd still take over Brunson, his response said it all. At this point, not many. That boy is a killer. And as Brunson carried the Knicks through battles few expected them to win, he made a choice off the court that surprised everyone and redefined his legacy. The $100 million discount, betting on legacy over wealth. By the summer of 2024, Jalen Brunson had all the leverage. After back-to-back seasons where he not only led the Knicks in scoring, but also became one of the top postseason performers in the league, everyone expected him to wait until 2025. If he played out the 2024-25 season and declined his player option, he could have signed a 5-year, $269 million max deal. That kind of payday would have put him among the top earners in NBA history, but Brunson didn't wait. Instead, in July 2024, he signed a 4-year, $156.5 million extension. That decision meant leaving more than $100 million in guaranteed money on the table. For most players, especially those who had once been second-round picks and had to fight for their spot in the league, taking the biggest contract available is the obvious choice. But Brunson was thinking about more than just salary figures. In interviews after the deal was announced, Brunson explained that he wanted the Knicks to have the flexibility to keep building a contender. His lower cap hit gave the front office room to re-sign OG Anunoby, who had become a key two-way player, and retain important role players like Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo. All three were known not just for their stats, but for doing the little things that win playoff games: defending, rebounding, and making the extra pass. Brunson understood that his personal success was tied to having a strong, deep roster. There was also loyalty involved. Brunson had been embraced by the Knicks fan base and the city. MSG had become a place where he didn't just play, he led. He made it clear he wanted to build something lasting in New York, not jump between teams chasing bigger checks. When news of the extension broke, fans flooded social media with praise. Knicks legends like John Starks and Allen Houston commented publicly, calling it one of the most selfless moves they'd seen from a modern star. Analysts on ESPN and TNT pointed out how rare it was for a player in his prime to take a discount of that size without being forced to.
Brunson is currently the most clutch player in the NBA. That's not an opinion, it's not just an award, it's a statement of fact.
His decision gave the Knicks more than just financial flexibility. It gave the team an identity. And soon, his leadership would change not just the roster, but the entire culture of the franchise. Barca Gyro led the Knicks all year to land 108 in a row in rebounds and catch. What the future looks like. With Jalen Brunson locked into a long-term deal, the New York Knicks are in one of the best positions they've been in decades. They finally have a legitimate star producing at an elite level without the kind of massive contract that typically forces teams to sacrifice talent and depth. Instead of holding out for a potential $269 million max deal, Brunson shocked the league by agreeing to a 4-year, $156.5 million extension. That choice gave the Knicks flexibility, a rare gift in today's salary cap-driven NBA. The result is a team that's both competitive now and built for the future. Brunson's leadership and unselfishness have allowed the front office to surround him with capable, well-paid role players without straining the budget. Unlike teams that rely on aging superstars or maxed-out rosters, the Knicks are building something balanced and sustainable. This kind of sacrifice puts Brunson in elite company. Curry once signed below-max deals that allowed the Warriors to construct their dynasty. Giannis Antetokounmpo did something similar in Milwaukee, making it possible to keep key pieces like Drew Holiday and Brook Lopez. Brunson is showing that he's cut from the same cloth, willing to give up a bigger payday in exchange for a better shot at winning. So what do you think? Can Jalen Brunson be the one to lead the Knicks to their first NBA title in over 50 years? Let us know in the comments, hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe for more NBA deep dives every week.